Hello and welcome to E-Magazine. I'm your host, Brenda Nyamichaba. It is very clear today's music industry has tremendously expanded, meaning it takes much more than just recording a good song in order to be successful in this business. Whether you are a music creator, consumer, or facilitator, it is important to understand and know the basics of the music business, which is exactly what we're doing today on E-Magazine. Now, joining me to have this conversation with me is the one and only Cyprian Ongeri, who is the CEO of Jimbo Sound Records. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Great. I'm excited for you to break it down to us what's happening in the music business today, especially in Kenya. Now, before we jump into this conversation, I'd like to know more about Jimbo Sound Records and why exactly you decided to get into this music space in Kenya.
Jimbo Sound Records is basically a record label. We've been in operation since 2014. We've done a lot of music out there, you know, with different artists, upcoming artists, the big artists. The biggest of them, you know, being the Willie Paul. We've worked with Size 8. We've worked with Janet Otieno. We've worked with Daddy Owen. Honestly, name a lot of those big artists, especially in the gospel industry. I got into the music industry more of as more of a passion, you know. I used to, in high school, I used to be those guys. Used to write songs.
Those guys.
Yeah, those guys. You know, the guys who write music, and you know, at that time you write. There's no, you don't follow any rules, but
yeah,
you basically entertain people. You know, during the funkies.
Yeah.
You know, the symposium, all that stuff. So after that, when I came out of school, I started. I tried recording. You know, I went to a couple labels. You know, that time there was Ogopa, there was Homeboys. Caliph was also doing good. And a lot of different other labels, and then it was a little difficult, you know, because the financial implication that, you know, goes into music.
Comes into, okay.
I didn't have that money, you know, and I don't think my dad was more of the music guy. He wanted me to be an accountant. So it was a little difficult, but then we went to Caliph Records for. They had something they used to call Gengemania. So we paid 4,000 and we recorded, and after that we recorded a couple more music. So with that, you know, I got into the music industry more than what I was before. But then after that, I had to go out. I went for studies, and at that point, I had an opportunity, you know, to start something.
Something new.
And what I thought was music, you know, something I wanted to do. It didn't work for me, you know, I can make it work for somebody else.
That's amazing, that's great. So did you go be the accountant that your dad wanted you to be?
Professionally, I'm an accountant. Basically, I'm a taxation and financial planning consultant.
Wow, amazing. Yeah. So you're juggling both, you know, you have your passion, then you have this
I tell people, man,
duty,
must live, you know, yeah.
So having been in that space, what are some of the experiences as a CEO of a record label that have allowed you to really understand where the Kenyan music industry is today and where it's going?
Yeah. The experiences is a lot, you know. You see, back then, you never really understood what the industry is all about. You thought it's just about recording music and pushing it out there, and then you're a superstar, start making money, you know. But then after that, when you get in now, you know, I'm now on the other side of the table.
Yes.
You realize that it's not as simple as you would think. You know, music is. It's more about strategy, you know, more than even talent, you know. I usually tell a lot of artists that your talent is good, but talent is only good to get me to notice that you have talent.
Yes.
You know, after that, honestly, we don't care, you know, because at the end of the day, it's your appeal as an artist that will make you money. There's a lot of big artists, or basically great artists that we love out there. But the talent is not that big.
Okay.
You know, likewise, we have a lot of talented artists that basically are not making it. You know, so it's all about the strategy, the people you work with, your processes, you know, your discipline as an artist. That will actually bring you now to that level of being an artist and make money in the music industry.
Okay.
Yeah. So the experience is a lot.
It's a lot, and you're still experiencing it.
Every day is a new thing, you know. Because in the studio, no 2 days are the same.
Very true.
You know, today will be something else, tomorrow we get somebody else, and the experience
it's a different experience.
And we're always learning, you know, on a daily basis.
Okay, before you even, of course, I do want to know some of the strategies that, you know, this new upcoming artists getting into this music industry need to consider. Yeah. But before we do that, I personally want to understand what are some of the structures that are found in a record label. And the reason why I'm asking this, because I would like to understand, you know, as an artist, before you sign an artist, they release a song, the channels they have to go through before they even get money made from this song of theirs.
Oh, that's a long process, you know, because music is all about the process. Okay. You have to understand the process, trust in the process, you know, and know that it's a kind of patience kind of game, you know. You don't come today record, you know, because I know how these guys, how the artists basically think. I know the mind of an artist. I was there, I've been there, and I can tell you for sure that an artist will come to the studio, they will expect to record today. Yes. They expect the song to be ready in a few days. You know, they shoot a video, push it out there, and it's just be embraced, and everybody's playing the music. It picks up in the radio. Picks up, and you're a big celebrity, and people start calling you for interviews and making money. But that's not how it goes, you know. On the ground, literally different. Literally different, you know, because you realize that before you even record, actually, especially when our artists are coming in, before you even record, we must be sure that actually you can do it. Because everybody wants to, there's a lot of people when I'm at high school, they want to come. The first place wanapitia ni studio, alafu ndio wana mbele. So we have to see that basically you can record, and you have the discipline that goes with the music industry. You must have the patience that the music is going to deserve, you know, because like I told you, it's not a one-off thing. Yes. You know. And then before then, once we establish that actually you're a good artist, that who can you know, do music. Yes. And you can push yourself, and as much as the label wants to push you, you as an artist, you have to push. Okay. There's a percentage that we cannot do. There's part of the artist branding and management that as a label we can do. We can get to your fans. There are those people or your guys. You can easily get to them much easier than we can. You know, when we come on a big picture that we may not be able to achieve what an artist is supposed to achieve. So you must show us that actually you can push yourself. Then we come with our resources and push you. Yeah, and then from there, basically, you have to do the music. The music itself can take 2 weeks to a month, you know, sometimes to get, because we can record the music, we do mixing and mastering, and everything is ready. Then we realize it's not as good as we want it to be. So sometimes go back again, start afresh, you know. And by the time it's ready, usually tell people 2 weeks to 1 month. We'll have your song ready, and then do a video, and it has to be a good video. It won't be the regular camcorder kind of thing. It's a different one. Yeah, but the reality is always different. The artists would expect that their song will be a hit, but it's never that story. You see, sometimes you don't know what song is going to be a hit. Very true. You know, sometimes you sit in the studio, you do music, everybody comes and they love the music, and it goes out there, it doesn't. Floats, you know. You can't, sometimes you can't tell. There is a high percentage you can tell this is going to do well, but you see there's a lot of other factors that affect how the music is going to do once it's out there. Because once it's out of the studio, it's out of our hands. You know, now for us what we can do is just push it and watch. You know, there are things you can't tell. You know, you don't know what is going to be the macro factors, you know, in the country at that time or the industry. And maybe there was politics. You know, politics cleans everything. You know, nothing works. Maybe there is a wave of new music that is basically coming in, like now the gengeton kind of music. So sometimes you don't know. You can't tell. You can never know. You just have to trust the process. You just trust the process. And, now I want to move on to, you know, trying to look at the artists themselves, individuals, because you have some artists who come into this music space thinking it's just going to be easy. Like, I'm going to go there, make my song, bam, I'm famous like that. No, I think some artists don't consider, you know, having management skills themselves. What would you say are some management skills artists, even composers, producers, should, you know, take into consideration when it comes to operating within this music industry today? Because it's very diverse, it's very competitive. It's not how it was back. It's not a simple one, two, three. It's a little tougher. Yes, yes. Basically, what I tell a lot of artists when it comes to the management skills and all that stuff is that you cannot be the artist be your own distributor, be your publisher, be the guy who's doing the shows and, you know, collect the money. You cannot do it. For basically like now, for artists, when bring the artists on board, when the only thing we need from them is for them to write good music, be there for recording, be there for the video shoot, be there for the interviews, be there for the shows. Everything else is for us to do. Yeah. You know, because we want them to take their time, you know, be creative, spend as much time as they can to basically create good music. You cannot create good music when at the back of your head you're trying to think, you know, you're trying to think, is this DJ gonna play my music? You know, leave that for somebody else. When it comes to that, as an artist, you need a management. You cannot make it by yourself. You can't live like an island. You need a management that basically is going to now understand the industry. And understanding the industry is way beyond just making a hit song. Because we have a lot of hit songs out there that artists are basically released, but at the end of the day, there's nothing in the pocket. So those are the things that, you know, as an artist, you know, being an artist for you is like create good music and it's gonna sell, right? But that's not what it is. You can create good music, it doesn't sell. There are skills that you need to know how to publish your music, the people to approach to get your music even played, because our industry is not very structured like you will think that I'm gonna throw my music on YouTube and then somebody's gonna discover. You know, they never discover. You know, our DJ is
and that's the post for a lot of artists. YouTube is where they're gonna get discovered.
Yeah, but you see, you see, I have an issue with a couple of DJs too, because you know the work of the DJ is not just to boom music and have people dancing and all that stuff. DJs are supposed to go do their research, discover music.
Yes.
You see, right now, if you go on TV and watch the playlist, there's going to be almost the same similar songs that have been playing and you realize that that's not all the music that we have in Kenya. And by the way, from one DJ to the next, they're playing almost the same music.
The same music. You see, they're not exploring.
They are not exploring. But if I go right now on YouTube and just search new Kenyan music, I'm going to get a lot of music. You see, some of it has never been played, you know, on Kenyan media, you know. That's why the DJs are not doing enough. DJs are becoming a little lazy. You know, because DJs are supposed to go there, discover this music. If they do that, then now the artists can easily put their music there and hope that it's going to happen. But it's not as structured as it should be. So you realize that for you, the music to be played, I have to talk to that DJ, you know, on a one-on-one basis. I'm like, hey, I have this music. I'm going to drop it to you. And you know, if you like it, play it. You know, and sometimes even goes beyond that. You know, there is a lot of underhand deals that usually go on in this industry, and that's what I told you. Like, the artists are not supposed to be the one pushing the music. Those things you don't want to be dirtying your hands. You know, sometimes
they should focus on making the music.
Unakosana na DJ. Unajua ukikosana DJ on a one-on-one basis as an artist, you need grudge.
Yes.
But if it's us, then, you know, it's business.
Very true.
It's trying to do business.
Now, Sipran, I wanted to get your thoughts on, you know, this streaming music platforms that have been introduced now that artists, especially new artists, you know, they're taking use of that. But you know, when you look at the Kenyan market, you'd see that, you know, Kenyan artists are really losing out on this potential of making revenue from this particular stream. What are your thoughts on that? Because when you look at in the Western space, as much as you wouldn't say 100% artists get money from it, but they definitely get some revenue.
They make good revenue
from that.
Talk about the streaming services, and I will call it basically the whole CMO thing.
Yes.
You know, starting from the priests can camp and all those, you know. I can tell you one thing. One thing I know for sure is that artists don't get the value of what the music really commands. A simple example, this is out there, is basically I can give you a contract for Skiza and you can see what it is. Skiza puts the music. You see, we do all the work, basically. We do all the work, push the music, do production, videos, and all that stuff. By the time an artist is done with a song, we are looking at an investment of between 50K to 100K for one song. Now, you put the music on Skiza, Skiza, number one, doesn't take the music directly from the record labels. It doesn't take the music directly from the artist. It takes it from some other, middle person, like now Cellulant, who we give them the music, then they cut it into whatever Safaricom wants, the size, which we can do in the studio, basically, and then now give it to Safaricom. So Safaricom, they put it on Skiza tune. They make money, they keep 70%.
Wow, and the artist gets...
Safaricom keeps 70%. I'm not even done.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Safaricom keeps the 70%. They give 30% to, now, for example, Cellulant, which is one of the biggest.
Yes.
Cellulant, for cutting the music and giving it to Safaricom, they keep another 40 to 50% of the 30%.
Wow.
Right?
So what does the artist get?
It's crazy. And then now, you may find some artist who worked through some agent who said, I'll put your music on streaming and other stuff. So Cellulant will give it to that agent. And this guy, is going to keep another 30 to 40%. And I'm telling you the truth, when the money gets to the artist, is between 3 to 6% of the money that actually the song made.
So it's very possible for an artist to get 25 shillings.
That happened. some of these agents say, how am I going to send you 15 shillings, 20 shillings? How am I going to send you? So you look at this. These artists spent about 50, let's be very conservative, 50K. Because production, video, distribution, and others, 50K, let's say 50K. And he's getting about, 25 shillings, in a period of about 6 months. Now you see, this is what the problem is. And by the way, Skiza tune is the only one that works. I'm telling you the real truth. Skiza tune is the only that works, and it's going to give you 6% or 3%. Now look at now the other ones. We have now the priests. The other time you saw MCSK paid artists 2,500. 6 months or whatever, even if it's 1 month, I don't care. You can say, okay, it's 1 month, but 2,500 for an artist.
For an artist. So they're not making any money from the music that's being distributed around the country, clearly.
They are not making money there. There's no money coming from those streaming. And the people, there is money that is actually being made, but it doesn't get to the artist.
It doesn't get to the
because there's so many middlemen. And the other time, I walked to Cellular and I asked them, why do you have to be the middleman? Why can't we just give the music to Skiza? Because the only thing you are doing, ni kukata tu, the song is 3:45, cut for the first 15 seconds for the Skiza tune. I mean, you can do that in the studio. Who does better music than, but it's not working.
Now, I want to pause this right there. I'm loving the conversation. We sadly have to take a short commercial break, but early on, we had paused a poll just to ask you and try to find out if you think the music industry is favorable towards Kenyan artists. Now, we'll get to see what your thoughts are and how the poll performed after we take this short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the magazine.